See what thumbnail.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone. Really appreciate everyone joining. This is meeting number 14 of the Fluent meeting, Fluent community meeting. And yeah, really excited to go through a couple of things today. Wow, we have a pretty packed agenda here. So that's really great to see. I'm going to kick things off, talk a little bit about the sandbox environment, and then we can turn it over to Victor, who's going to talk about the Fluent Nightfall AI plugin. And then there was some Beats input plugin type discussions, and then looks like Pat, you got a couple of announcement discussions here as well. So all awesome. So let me start with the sandbox environment. So we went ahead and one of the big pieces of feedback that we got from users, both at FluentCon and in general, has been like they want more tools and whatnot to interact with FluentBit. Like, how do I get started? More workshops. How can I use it in a particular manner? And we found this tool, Instruct, that we found really great for just that, building out these type of guided classroom sessions, guided sessions, ephemeral environments, so that you, as someone who might be joining the Fluent community or want to try a particular scenario, can go out and try and accomplish that. So this is the FluentBit 101, and actually what I'll do is you're seeing here kind of the more administrative view, but I'll go ahead and click Start Track. And what you'll realize is it will immediately open up a sandbox environment for me. And in this sandbox environment, I'll have FluentBit installed and I can kind of get to the races. So there's a couple of fun things here that I found as maybe more of a, I wouldn't call myself advanced user, but maybe intermediate user, is that we'll make a freeform one of these sandboxes. So if you want to try particular configurations out, not in your environment, but just on the whim, you can do that. This is actually full featured Fluent Bit. So if you're sending to say an API service, you can do that. These environments are ephemeral, so after you're done, you could just delete the close and stop the environment, and all the data on there is gone. So this is something new that we've introduced, and it's pretty extensible. So one thing I wanted to do in this community meeting is, we started with a couple of modules, how to start Fluent Bit up via command line, how to go run XYZ, and how do tags work. But there's still many topics that I've seen, particularly in Slack or Stack Overflow or other places, that would be great to add as modules that we could showcase and teach. So I started a discussion issue in the Fluent Bit GitHub discussions, and I invite everyone here to kind of add on to that. What scenarios do we need? What scenarios should we look at, and whatnot. So yeah, that
Can you
will
put a
be
link to that discussion in the agenda?
no, but let me add that here. That's
Yeah, I was just trying to find it, so I figured that might be useful.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it should be on the top. Yeah, Fluent Bit sandboxes. So I'll add that here.
Oh yeah, it's pinned, isn't it, right at the top?
Yeah, it's one of the pinned issues. So if there's particulars, like I know Lua has been one that we wanted to see here. There's folks who want to do SQL stream processing. Since we have FluentCon North America coming up, or sorry, not North America, Europe coming up, one of the sessions that's part of this virtual event is how to use FluentBit with metrics, getting started with metrics like the scraper and everything like that. And it was very hard last time for folks to follow along who are participating virtually. And even, and to be honest, in person, you kind of needed everything set up on your laptop ahead of time. But this will give us an opportunity to build those environments and whatnot well ahead of the sessions. And so everyone will be able to participate without having to install or download software. The other thing here is like, this is not something you need to sign up for, give email for. And we wanted to be sure that you could enjoy it without feeling like you have to give up a lot of your info. So yeah, that's a bit about the new sandbox environment. Any questions, comments on it?
What's contribution for those? Like, if we want to get community members contributing modules, is that possible, or do we have to do something special?
We should be able to do that. I think what the first thing is, the nice thing is all these tracks get stored as code. They're very simple. They have like a container-based image and then some markdown text. You can do some more advanced features like actual checks to make sure someone has followed or performed correct instructions. But I think, if this is just a sandbox for learning, we don't have to enforce those type of things. So yeah, I think it's really simple, just a set of instructions. You can even do setup scripts. So for example, in one of the second lessons that I have here, give it 1 second to load up. Click start. And if I look at, should have, yeah. Here I just downloaded a fake Apache log. So, like as part of the setup for this container, this lesson, we go and I have a gist that exists on GitHub, pulls it down, and you can kind of play around with it. So yeah, it's really kind of a fun little environment. I've actually used it for debugging every now and then too, which is kind of fun. Whereas like, oh, does this feature exist or something, or does this work the way I expect it to? And in this environment spins up in like a couple seconds versus having to get a VM or container image.
Can you share them as well? Because I was thinking that might be useful as well. Like someone's having a problem and you could like reproduce it and then.
Oh, very good question. I don't think you can, unfortunately. Yeah, I think part of the appeal is that if you put some tokens or keys in here, they go away and you don't have fear of them getting out. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for the Fluent sandbox. How about Victor? Victor, are you here in chat?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Hey, if you could do maybe a quick intro and then yeah, I'll stop sharing. So if you have anything you want to share, that'd be cool. Talk about the.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So hey guys, I'm Victor, and nice to meet you all. So I work for a company called Nightfall, and then what we do is that we do data loss prevention solutions, and then we also saw that Fluent doesn't currently have any like data loss prevention kind of plugin. So then we thought that it would be nice to contribute a data loss prevention filters plugin for Fluent. So that's what I've done in the past couple of months. And so yeah, for this presentation, I'm gonna go over like a short demo of the plugin, and then also kind of talk about my experience developing the plugins, and then also some like gotchas that I learned along the way. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the demo first. Show you guys what it's all about. Let me share my screen. All right, cool. So yeah, hold on, let me share my terminal first. So yeah, before we start the plugin, the Fluent bits, let me just share what a configuration file for this plugin will look like. So basically what I have set up here is just a simple HTTP input, and then the filter is just called Nightfall.
I think you're only sharing the web browser page. I don't think we can see the terminal.
Oh, sorry. That's weird. Can you guys see the terminal?
Yeah, we can see that.
All good now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as I was saying, just say for this example, I'm just gonna set up a simple HTTP input, and then the filter is just called Nightfall, and then there's two fields, two configuration that you will need to set up to use this plugin. So first, it's just the Nightfall API key, which yeah, you can just get it from our dashboard. And then there's also the policy ID, which is basically what you want to scan your logs with, and then also like what kind of actions that you want to take if something sensitive was found in your logs. And then also I've also just set up a simple std output just to, you know, so that we can verify the plugin behavior. So I'm going to kind of show you guys what a policy looks like in our dashboard. So it makes more sense, and it's not just like an ID. So yeah, basically what I have here is the policy that I will be scanning my logs with. So like I said before, it's a policy kind of encompasses what you want to scan for, and then what kind of actions you want to take when sensitive data is found. So what we have here is that in Nightfall, we call like a aggregation of detectors a detection rule. And then, so what I thought, you know, to scan for sensitive data and logs, I have like credit card numbers and then social security numbers. And then this one is pretty likely that this one is a pretty useful one for logs, because, you know, API keys, it's easy to accidentally log in logs. So then that's why I have this turned on here. And then also this is just some regex based detector that I've set up here. It's not really that important, but it just matches for key. And then yeah, like I said, and then you can also configure what you want to do if something sensitive were found. So you can configure the findings to be sent to like a webhook or an email or like a Slack channel of your choosing, so that you can not only redact the findings in the filter, you can also know exactly what was found. Because like after the finding gets redacted, it's just a bunch of stars, so then you can't really tell like what it was. But with these kind of alerting mechanisms, you can tell like what kind of findings were found. So yeah, that's basically it for the policy part. Let me go back to the actual demo of the plugin. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the plugin. So yeah, I'm just gonna start it a Fluent bit container. That's version 1.9.1, because yeah, it's only available in versions greater than 1.9.1. So let me just go ahead and start it here. Cool, it started. And then let me just post some like data to it. And then for this one, I'm going to include some sensitive information in there, and then see if it catches the sensitive information and then filters it out.
Oh,
So as you can see here,
I think the share pauses when you switch tabs in Mac terminal. So I think we're still on the 800 by 800 yeah, screen. All good. Yeah, all good.
Can you guys see it? Oh, hold on, let me see. This is really weird. Hello now.
We can see, yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, yeah, that's really weird. So yeah, I have just an example log here. The first key value pair is just like an example string with nothing sensitive in there. And then I also have this set up to be like a log with pretty complicated nesting structure to make sure that the filter catches everything. So I have one here that has credit card in the in the field, and then also like a social security number here. And then also finally I have one that has a example like API key here. So I'm going to post that to the to my Fluent instance. So let me do that here. All right, cool. And then
And now it paused again.
yeah,
All good.
I'm not really sure why it does that. All right, cool. Yeah, so then if you guys can remember like the log that I posted, like the original log, so you can see here, the one that had nothing sensitive didn't get redacted. And then the credit card number gets detected correctly, and then it just redacted and replaced with a bunch of stars. And then also the social security number gets redacted as well. And then finally, you see that the API key that was in the last field also got redacted. So yeah, that's basically it for the demo. Does anyone have any questions so far about it, or yeah?
So I don't have any questions about the filter per se, just more the nightfall thing. So like there with the number of asterisks, can you get it to always use a fixed number rather than leaking the size of your key or whatever?
That's a good point. So currently, what I have implemented, it does not do that, but yeah, that's a good point you brought up. Maybe it's good as a future improvement, because leaking the size is definitely like you can definitely like kind of interpret something from the size.
Yeah, because like if you had a password or something, you'd have the length or the username or something like that.
Yeah.
How does it work back end as well? Can you run? Does it all communicate to Nightfall servers, or can you run like in cluster?
It communicates to the Nightfall servers via HTTP. So you will have to make like HTTP requests out of your cluster. So then, yeah, so some data does like go out of your cluster, but everything is through like TLS. So there's some like, yeah, it does go out of your cluster, but it is through TLS. So yeah.
And do you run those like regionally? So like EU can't send to US servers, for example. Would you be running inside EU servers and being able to control that? Sorry, it's probably not related to Fluent bit, so it's
yeah, no problem. So I think we currently only have servers in the US. So I'm not really sure if that answers your question, but yeah, you could.
You can't region lock your destinations basically.
No, so yeah, currently we don't have that implemented. Yeah.
What was your experience building the plugin? So this is a full native plugin, right? So it's written in C versus like maybe what you've seen a lot of folks do like Go or Lua for some of these things. But yeah, how was your experience writing the C? What could improve there?
I think the I forgot what the doc's name. I think it was developer guide or something. The developer guide was pretty useful. It was pretty comprehensive, and then so it talked about like most of the common functions that you will kind of encounter in Fluent bit development. And then I thought I learned a lot from it, but there were still some parts where like it wasn't like super clear, that I had to like only I had to like read the code to understand better afterwards. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So is there stuff we can improve in that guidance as well? And maybe Anurag, maybe we could do a track of creating your own plugin or something.
Yeah,
like
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah, I actually like we actually wrote a blog post on kind of just like a rough guide of how to create your own Fluent Bit plugin. But I only really went over like filters and outputs in that blog post. But yeah, I thought it was definitely like a interesting topic, and that's why we wrote the blog post.
Can you share that blog post? I don't think I've seen that.
It should be in the PRs for the Fluent Bit website. I'll merge it right
Okay.
after this, actually. I didn't have a chance this morning. Sorry, Victor.
Oh, that's a separate blog post. That's like how to set up the Nightfall plugin blog post. But we do have another one that's about how to write a Fluent Bit plugin, and then I think we're trying to see if we can get it posted on CNCF's blog, if I'm not mistaken, Dan. But yeah, Dan is someone also on the Nightfall side that's also kind of like handling these kind of stuff. So yeah, so you should be able to see the blog post pretty soon somewhere. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great topic. Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Gonna go ahead and switch back to the agenda here. So next we have the Beats input plugin. We can keep this discussion kind of short, maybe about 5 minutes, but just to kind of go over what this discussion is we've heard quite a few folks ask for ingestion from other agents or other types of collectors, and we've somewhat extended Fluentd to do things like receive messages from, say, Splunk forwarders, and pieces like that. And one that was pretty popular as we talked with the open search community was this idea to receive data from like Beats or Logstash through like the Lumberjack protocol. And yeah, I know we're going to be discussing with a few users, but I wanted to bring it up in this community meeting. If folks have like particular use cases or thoughts about ingesting from other collectors, if there's things that you might have already wired together, or things that we should be on the lookout for, or feature scenarios that are particularly relevant.
The only thing I was missing in Fluent Bit is the ability to run a side process and have it standard out as input for Fluent Bit. I think I demoed that last time, Pat, when we had the 3-person meeting.
Yeah, the co-proc was it you were saying?
I still need to throw that in a PR, but I was ill, so hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, because you were reading. So Mickey was interested actually. Like you were reading in-memory logs from Varnish.
Yeah.
And streaming them through. So rather than exec, which is like a fire, return, parse, it was fire and keep streaming.
Fire, keep streaming, and restart the process if it crashes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this might be a good opportunity. Like the coproc could receive the data from this and then forward it on to.
I think we've got the same problem we've got with exec though. It won't run in the containers, the distro-less containers.
Darn. Okay. Oh, coproc is based off of.
So that's probably something we need to look at some point, is sorting exec out so we can do that. But yeah.
Yeah, coproc also wondering because you don't have the shell available.
Yeah, you need. I think it goes down to like popen requires /bin/sh, and it can't be anywhere else. It has to be there.
But I mean, we could fake that and just not launch strings through sh and be a bit more strict in what we accept as possible processes.
Yeah, there's options. It's just
it just hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But yeah, we want to give the community ample time, but then at least start moving forward with the design. So we're looking at closing April 15th might be a bit too aggressive, maybe a week or two after that. So near the end of April, if folks could add comments or thoughts, whatever feedback you have, that'll be awesome. We'll be talking with the community members, and I'll add notes here in this discussion. But otherwise, yeah, that's a bit of it. Okay, Pat, got a
Well, I
couple.
think, yeah, mine are pretty self-descriptive. Has anyone else got any questions before I start whittering on other things, I guess? If there's any other stuff to come up for it. Otherwise I'll start. Okay. Yeah, the first one, some people might have noticed that you might be getting quite a few release notifications from GitHub, because the nightly builds, even though they're pre-release, they trigger notifications in GitHub. So I did pester Dennis about this as well, because there's feature requests from GitHub to say, just notify me about official releases, not all the other ones. So there's a discussion open on it, and there's some suggestions about what we can do. The reason I'm doing the releases is it makes a lot of the other stuff simpler if we've just got a nice release that we can download artifacts from and run, you know, a load of tests off, rather than have to drag it from other workflows, which is quite horrible. So I don't really want to refactor that, but then people do want to be notified about official releases. So it was just to try and, you know, gather some suggestions, and also go pester GitHub to sort that feature request out as well. Yeah. So if anyone has some suggestions, I think the main one there is, can we have a mailing list or something for it, Anurag? I did suggest as well, maybe do some announcements, but I don't know if you get notified about discussions. I don't know if that's something, you know, does it go that far down? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's funny. We used to have the Google group to do announcements, and we moved away from the Google group because, well, like in the Fluent D Google group, we asked a lot of questions on it, and now we're trying to centralize on GitHub discussions to keep it from going all over the place.
So one suggestion I have, and that's just to work around the fact that we're not going to fix the pre-release notifications anytime soon, apparently. Maybe you could make those releases in a separate repo. Have a Fluent Bit nightly repository where you stick those releases.
It's a good shout. Yeah, that might do it. I'll have to have a look at that, because then that requires a load of tokens and stuff as well. Whereas at the moment, I was just using the ephemeral tokens the workflows get. But yeah, we might be able to do that. That might be a good shout, actually. Yeah, because then we might be we can just trigger a job on like another public repo that just makes the release for you.
I do things like that as well, because I have a project that I publish homebrew releases for. So a release in the main project triggers some workflows in other repositories to do the relevant updates there.
Yeah, it's just trying to think, collecting the art, like there's about 75 artifacts I think we build, so it's like collecting all of them together as well, and getting them over. But yeah, that's a good shout. Could you add just something to discussion, just so you don't lose track of that? That's a good shout. Yeah, cool. A couple of other ones from me, just a query. Every time I see control codes in logs, I get really nervous after spending, I think, a week debugging a Jenkins failure because Maven decided to put control codes in logs. So I was just, question was like, is anyone using the colored output in the logs for anything? Would they prefer them removed, because it makes sometimes parsing the output a bit funky? So I've got a PR waiting to go, but that was just a question. Just poking people about branches as well, but that's probably more for maintainers. I'm going to go do a purge at some point, Anurag, and just clean up all the merged branches.
There is a setting in GitHub that you can have auto delete merged branches. Yeah,
we can apply it, and we've got it applied on some of them, and that's one I think I'm going to turn it on, but it doesn't auto clean up the historical ones. So that's the problem.
Your history yourself. That is true.
Yeah. So I think there's about 200 and something, and quite a few of them are just merged PRs. So yeah. And actually, the last one's quite timely. And Windows and Mac OS builds. So I don't think the Mac OS stuff's merged, but it will. Once it's merged, it will just do the nightly builds with Windows stuff. We did ask about Windows containers last time, if anyone's using them. And actually, Anthos have just moaned that I removed them from the 1.8 branch. So they've added to the discussion saying they do use them. So we might have a look at making those official builds then. And Rank, what do you think?
Yeah, I think if oh wow, that's very timely. 1 hour ago. Yeah, I think if folks need them, I don't see.
Yeah, because so my issue with what they're saying there is they want the Docker files in the open source repo because then they consume them and use them. But if we don't build them, they're just nonsense. Yeah, there's no guarantee they work. So that's why it was either like build them and include them or remove them. So that's what I'll do, but it just takes a long time. So we may have to go ask CNCF for more GitHub resources.
Yeah, or Dennis. I just kidding. I think we pestered you enough here.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was me. And then just the last one was mostly for Mickey's benefit, so he turns up. Just that the next meeting's in an EU-friendly time zone. Well, EMEA-friendly, APAC-friendly, hopefully. I can't remember.
Now be captured in the meetup. So actually the next one.
Yeah.
Should be.
I presume I will be running that one.
Yeah.
Unless Mickey wants to, so he doesn't forget when it's on.
Thanks. I could do that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to have more community members running the meetings. That'll be great. So we'll keep upgrading this meetup group. I'm glad this helps with a lot of notification and everything out there. So
I think it's a lot better. Yeah. I do get a bit more email spam from Meetup, but it's to save the panic of like, oh crap, it's on in 10 minutes. That's better.
Cool. Okay, those are all the scheduled topics, but we have some time left. Does anyone have any other topics or anything they want to bring up?
Who's going to FluentCon?
Yes, I will be there. And actually, yeah, so for folks who might not know, we have FluentCon Europe. It is May 16th in Valencia next to KubeCon Europe. And the agenda's live. There's quite a few topics out there already. Some pretty cool sessions. I believe there's like some from Asana, Microsoft, IBM.
Mickey's doing one.
Mickey's doing one, exactly, on IoT. So that will be
Pending logistics, yes.
Pending
I think you said last time that it was possible to attend online, right?
It is. There's you can attend virtually as well.
Then I shall be attending that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have some workshops there as well. I think there's a workshop around metrics, and there's a workshop around the operator, so the Kubernetes operator. So we'll probably be making use of Instruct, what I showed earlier, and try to put everything in GitHub repos as well. So yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, comments.
Oh, when is the next? Is it 2 weeks? I think the EU one, isn't it? Probably should put it on there.
Yes, it is in
21st.
April 21st. So the next one will be 21st, and then I believe the one right after that is May 5th, and that will be North America time zone. So about a month later. Cool. Okay. I'll add the new meeting. Thanks, everyone. And you'll see this recording up online here shortly. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.